Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So we know that industrialization is making converge all social practices, food production practices, diet, medicine, culture, and it entitles a lot of medicine and antimicrobials that are used not only in the hospitals but also at homes and also on the farm. So we have a highly antimicrobial society, and we know, and there is a lot of evidence that associates urbanization, westernization with loss of microbiome diversity. This slide shows the loss of gut microbiome diversity in humans. And we knowing every day more and more the role of the microbiota for health, causing dysbiosis or breaking the balance of the right components of the microbiota, especially at early ages when babies are developing their system, leads to increased risks of chronic diseases, especially associated with metabolic and immune diseases. But on the environment too, this highly antimicrobial way of living that we have also leads to losing microbial diversity as we move from traditional societies to urban societies. We have a problem of macro diversity disappearance of food crop varieties, impoverished ecosystem, which exacerbates further the loss of microbes that are fundamental to sustain ecosystems. So therefore, it's urgent to take an action because of the loss of microbial diversity. So we reason in this 2018 perspective that if industrialization is degrading the microbiomes and leading to, in this case, it was more focused on human diseases, leading to diseases, can we restore the microbial components of the original ecosystems before the stressors? And the problem is, because of the disappearance, we have to preserve this microbial diversity. The world is very uneven, very unequal. There is monetary and biodiversity wealth, which is not overlapping very much. So, and this shows in orange the rich countries and in green the most biodiverse countries. So we need to get united and think, what is an equitable approach to this imbalance? How to connect the economically and technologically rich north with economically and technologically poorer but biodiverse south? How to strengthen the capacity of the south for preservation in the global hotspot of biodiversity? And in an extremely commercial space, can a non-commercial, non-profit organization create value for all? So with the inspiration of the Seed Vault, which was founded and works with the same principles of preserving the biodiversity of plants that are important for humankind, we propose the creation of a Microbiota Vault. The Microbiota Vault model is very centered on local working collections. So these collections can request the Microbiota Vault to save a backup sample without losing their rights to the, without losing control of the materials used. And they could also ask optatively for sequencing, with the condition from our part that the sequences have to go public. The sequences are deposited also under the Creative Commons license that the depositor chooses. The Microbiota Vault organizes also symposia and trainings And by posting who are the local collections that we have received backups from on their behalf and the sequences, we hope that the world will connect with the local collection. So it's a global repository of microbial diversity relevant to human and environmental health. It provides open access metagenomic data to foster research, and it also builds local capacity. So we are very concerned and aware of issues about equity, which we acknowledge frontally. We want to empower local researchers and communities, and we are an enabler. We don't do research, but we want to foster it around the world. We have finished the launch phase of the Microbiota Vault as a proof of concept. These are the funding entities, and because of the funding restrictions, we started with the gut. We have received 1,200 stool samples from Laos, Ghana, Switzerland, and Brazil, and about 200 fermented foods from Laos, Ghana, Thailand, and Benin. And these are the depositors and the number of samples for human and for fermented foods. So the legal path to collections and publicly annotated sequences was transited in this phase of the launch of the Microbiota Vault, including Nagoya. So we had to navigate the diverse requirements of each country in relation to national permits and Nagoya as well. So the role of Nagoya Protocol to guarantee that there is a fair and equitably access to genetic resources is important. But there are challenges in implementing Nagoya, and we transit through them, and I think this is another issue in which we need a united front to improve. The process is currently complex, country-specific bureaucracies. Obtaining permits often requires approval of, in some countries, of very high-level government officials, not operational agencies. Frequent turnover of government officials make it harder because when you are about to get the permit, then they change the minister and everybody else. There is lack of clear local implementation guidelines for microbes compared to what we have for plants and animals. So there are approval delays that can take months to years, depending on the country. And of course, the risk is that the initiative lose momentum and samples are lost. They cannot deposit if permits cannot be obtained timely. The recommendations is that there should be, and we should all fight for, streamline Nagoya procedures for non-commercial conservation-focused initiatives, promote standard agreements for microbial deposits until Nagoya that can be given by institutions, not very high level. So build into institutional capacity to handle permits without needing repeated escalations. So in summary, the Microbiota Vault is responding to the loss of microbial diversity, to safeguard humanity's microbial heritage. Protection must be equitable and aligned with local and international law, including Nagoya Protocol, but improvements are needed to decrease the sometimes impossible bureaucracy. With that, I thank you very much for listening, and I'm open to questions.